Make no mistake about it, if the club pull this one off, I will be very, very impressed. Usually, I'm very critical of West Ham when it comes to selling players. I think we're crap at it. However, if we manage to get £6.5 million for Guido Rodriguez, I will be very, very impressed. I'll give them a lot of credit. Just for that transfer deal, not for the whole transfer window. Doesn't change my opinion on anyone at the club. But in the evaluation of selling Rodriguez, if we get £6.5 million, I will be gobsmacked. I thought we'd have to give him away for free. And even then, I thought we might struggle to get someone to take him for free because of the wages he's on at West Ham. But that's the transfer rumour. We've actually got quite a few to get through, so welcome to the West Ham transfer rumour show. Unfortunately, most of the rumours are our own players being linked with moves away. There's also a couple of players we've been linked to other clubs, and there's actually one player, I think, that's currently being linked to West Ham. So it's not the best set of headlines to get through, but I don't make them. I just discuss them. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Look, we need 12 of you. 12 of you. Our target, well, I say ours, it was mine. My target before kick-off against Sunderland tomorrow was to have 45,000 subscribers. 12 of you to subscribe. So please do subscribe if you fancy sticking around. If you think you subscribe, just double check, and also do drop a like on the video as well by clicking thumbs up button. Get 1,000 likes as always. That would be fantastic. Speaking of that Sunderland game, I'm starting to get a bit excited. I'm getting a bit excited. I don't know if it's because the Premier League's back or because we're playing Sunderland tomorrow. A bit of both, I think. I'm still a little bit nervous for tomorrow's game. I think if we win, might just calm things a little bit. But if we lose, I think the concern factor is going to get ramped up among the fan base as well. So there's a lot riding on it. But this morning, as of every morning, Mrs. Gio will say to me, "What's your plans for today?" So she said that this morning. I said, well, I've got to publish my Sunderland fans video. Then I've got to do a Fantasy League video for Tart and Gio. Then I've got to do my opposition prediction for Patreon. Then I'm going to do a transfer rumour show. I'm recording Naked with Gonzo. I think we're doing a season prediction for Patreon as well. I wouldn't mind doing a transfer show for Tart and Gio. I said, I've got a lot of work to do today. I said, but tonight, Liverpool against Bournemouth. The Premier League is back. I'm excited for it and looking forward to it. I've done all that recordings as well. By the way, I've got my own YouTube channel, Tart and Gio. Links in the description below, or just put in YouTube, Tart and Gio. I've done some FPL content, season predictions, weekend predictions. Been covering the transfers of all the other Premier League teams. Thank you. If you fancy subscribing. Shall we get on with the show? Guido Rodriguez. Now, here's the important thing. This is coming from Sean Whetstone, who is saying that he's expected to leave Saudi, $6.5 million. There's interest from other clubs, but Sean has said $6.5 million to a Saudi club. The reason this is important, because I can often be critical of Sean's messaging, which comes out of the club. And I think sometimes the figures are dressed up to make it seem worse than it is. So, for example, last summer, it was, oh, we're paying X million for Todibo. And then this summer, the number had increased. So it was like, oh, we're now spending more money this summer on Todibo than 12 months ago. So sometimes I'm a bit suspicious when the figures come out, because I feel like they are put out there to make the club look like we've spent a bit more money, for example. So when Sean's saying it's $6.5 million, if the club were putting it out there, I would expect them to play the price tag down. Say, oh yeah, we're only getting a couple of million for him. So the fact that he's saying it's $6.5 million makes me believe it could be $6.5 million. The only thing that prevents me believing it truly is because I've watched Rodriguez play football. But if we can get any sort of money for him, I think that would be good. $6.5 million is fantastic profit on the player for PSR. It's really good. Happy days, as far as I'm concerned. Andy Irving being linked to a move to Scotland again. The price tag, according to Sean, will be between 3 and 3.5 million. So to get 10 million for those two players, I'm all right with that. Now, Irving's wage packet won't be as bulky as Rodriguez, but you'd imagine with 10 million transfer fees coming in, getting 130 grand off the books, that's all right. And I don't think we need to replace either of those, actually. I think Rodriguez's replacement is Potts. So we'll get onto it in a second. But you were to look at two players for every position. You'd have Potts and Alvarez. Is that number 6? Souček and Ward-Prowse is one of the midfielders. Then you've got Paqueta and a bit of a gap at the minute. So we'd have to bring in a midfielder. We need to do that. But in terms of actually directly replacing with those two players, I'm not so sure. I think George Earthy could be Andy Irving's replacement in terms of a squad role. I think Potts can be Rodriguez replacement in terms of that squad position. So 10 million in, 130 odd grand off the books. Don't really need to replace them. Put it towards getting in a substantial midfielder. Edson Alvarez though would need replaced. And this is another important context around who's reporting this. It's Fabrizio Romano. Now, Fabrizio Romano has always been all over Edson Alvarez. If you were to follow Romano before he came to West Ham, whenever there was Edson Alvarez news, Romano had it. I can only assume he knows Alvarez's agent or he knows Alvarez himself. But his agent doesn't have a load of players on the books. I think Alvarez is one of the most expensive players. Sven Botman is one of the most expensive players. It's a Dutch-based agency, unsurprisingly, with those two players on the books. But Romano's always had news. I remember in January last year, we had the Monaco stuff going on. Romano was the one leading it. He had the exclusives. When he got injured, Romano was the one reporting it. Go back 12 months when Alvarez was injured and coming back from injury, Romano was one updating us. When he came to West Ham, Fabrizio Romano had that airplane picture with put his watermark over it of Alvarez's agent on the plane coming to West Ham. So Fabrizio Romano knows Edson Alvarez news, and he put out there Alvarez is expected to leave West Ham before the end of the transfer window. I'm okay to believe that. Things add up, don't they? We got told during the week that Potter's going to be strict. He's going to discipline the players. And their players are late, he's going to punish them. And one player had apparently been late a couple of times and been punished. It's hard to read that and not feel like it's Edson Alvarez. It might not be, I'm just guessing off the back of that. But when I read it, Edson Alvarez was the name that came to my head. Let me know who your name was. We've all got different ones. Maybe I'll see one of your suggestions and go, yeah, I can see it being that one. But I feel Edson Alvarez was the first one that came up. Don't think Potter's ever really fancied him. And this is where I think the club are taking a bit of a gamble, which is they're going all in on Potter here. So the players that he wants, bar one, they're trying to get him in. But also the players that Potter is happy to sell, they are selling them. So they're backing him. They're backing him, not necessarily in terms of loads of money to spend, but in terms of power over the squad. I think they're backing Potter. As for Alvarez leaving, depends on transfer fee. If it's 15 million, I'm going to be unhappy. If it's high 20s, fair, I think it would be a fair price. Now, Sean did say we're expected to lose money and we paid 33 million for him. So you can make up what you think. Feels like Leverkusen would be the ideal destination with Ten Hag there, but I'm unsure about how much of a say Ten Hag has in transfer proceedings at Leverkusen. Leverkusen's been doing some good business this summer. Alvarez, maybe. I think it'd suit the Bundesliga, though. Nottingham Forest, right? Fernandes, our transfer target, Southampton's Fernandes. They're being linked to him. I don't believe it. Maybe I'm going to end up looking stupid and he ends up joining Nottingham Forest, but I'm not going to get worked up. I'm not going to pretend to get worked up over a transfer rumour that I don't really believe. Nottingham Forest are busy. Nuno said they're not ready. They're not ready for the start of the season because they've been massively delayed because of Crystal Palace taking the Europa League decision to CAS. So they had to wait until Monday for the outcome. It came out now. Forest are staying in the Europa League. Now they can crack on, and they are cracking on. They're getting in that Ren striker that loads of the subscribers really like him, would like him at West Ham. They're getting him in. James McAtee's going there. They're being linked to Fernandes, but I'm just not really believing it. Douglas Luiz, though, I do believe. I do believe they're in for Douglas Luiz. I think they're trying to get him on loan with an obligation. Now, the reports from Italy are 2 Premier League clubs have made a move. 2 of them. I'm searching for the star one. And the other one's 50-50 for me. Ourselves and Everton. So maybe we've made a move. Maybe we've gone in for Douglas Luiz now. And if we're getting Rodriguez off the books and we're getting Irving off the books and we think we're going to get Alvarez off, that frees up a lot of money. We know we've got 30 million to spend. We're just trying to spend it on Fernandes. Douglas Luiz's price tag is around about that 30 million. I think Juve are looking for a bit north of that, but they need to get him out. Forest are trying to get him on loan with an obligation. If we do genuinely want him, I hope we make a move. Personally, I like him. As long as we get the Villa version, can't tell you what he looked like in Italy. Didn't watch him. He didn't play for half the season. But if we can get the Aston Villa Douglas Luiz at the London Stadium, I'd be very excited. But I do believe Forest have made a move for him, as has one other club. Could be us. Everton was strongly linked, but I'm looking at that Everton team now. Now they've gone and signed Dewsbury Hall in particular, I'm thinking, will they also want Luiz? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll still go try and get him. I'm hoping it's us though. Another midfielder we have been linked to is Alex Garcia of Bayer Leverkusen. A wonderful player. He's a player I really enjoy watching play football. On the ball, I think he's very neat and tidy, very pleasing. I like his ability on the ball. I like his passing range. Dribbles with the ball as well. He's not the quickest player in the world, but he's very comfortable in possession. Defensive side of the game isn't the best, but I don't really care. I'm not looking for us to bring him in as a defensive midfielder. It would be to play alongside, say, Potts and Paqueta. It feels a bit like we've got Tim Steiden's old transfer shortlist here, because players we're being linked to, like Fernandes, West Ham have been after him for a while. Oh, right, okay. Garcia we definitely were after because Lopetegui really wanted him. Garcia himself has confirmed we made a move for him, but he wanted Champions League football, and that's why he went to Leverkusen. He didn't come to West Ham. So the player himself has confirmed our interest 12 months ago. I'm not sure I believe it. The source isn't the strongest one. Wonderful player, though. I wouldn't be against it. 28, so he's no spring chicken, but I also don't think it's a old player per se. But I think we've maybe found ourselves in the problem with, say, Ward-Prowse, that when you're spending big money on someone in their late 20s, you might find yourself stuck eventually. Good news, though, for the coffers. Not like those with COVID, but the fund at West Ham. Ekwa, he's left Sunderland. He's joined St Etienne. He was on loan there last season. They had a loan with an option to buy. They've triggered the option, which is €6 million, which means we get a bit of money. I think it's, I don't know, $1 million, £1.5 million, something like that West Ham are going to receive. So, hey, bonus £1.5 million. We can joke about it, right? But it all helps, doesn't it? All helps. And lastly, well, actually not lastly, second last is Piers Charles. Remember him, the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper. Sorry, I'm just thinking, who did I watch them play? I watched Sheffield Wednesday play someone last weekend. They were leading 1-0 against someone. Was it Leicester? Yeah, it was Leicester, because Vestergaard scored, didn't he? That was it. It was against Leicester. I watched him. Apparently we bid $1 million, and never even replied. Now, well, the report said we haven't heard from Wednesday. So I assume it means Wednesday as in the football club, and not we've made a bid on Wednesday and we've not heard since Wednesday. That's how I'm just making an assumption that that's what it means. So we made a bid and we've not heard anything back. $1 million feels a bit low. I appreciate they are in a horrific position as a football club, but it still feels a bit cheap. However, it does maybe go hand in hand with the next transfer rumour. I would like us to sign Piers Charles. I'd happily pay a couple of million for him on the provision that Areola leaves. Well, he's the latest player to be linked with a move away. He's been linked with a move to Paris FC. They got promoted to La Liga. No, they did not. Ligue 1, the top division in France. Now, they've got a bit of that, Paris FC. Well, the owners have got a bit of that. There's some quite heavy financial backers, including Red Bull, for example. So now, obviously, Areola's wages are like 100 grand a week or something at West Ham. I think Paris FC's top wage is about 20 grand a week. So there's a bit of a problem here. However, they could get around it by just giving him a big sign-on fee in order to accommodate the drop of wages. So if he stays on 20 grand a week, but his signing on fee compensates for that 80 grand a week he's missing out on. There is ways around these types of things. Or you simply take him in on 20 grand a week and you pay extra in a transfer fee to West Ham, and we subsidise his wages up until the end of his contract, or we just give him a bit of a payoff so he goes, but it's included in the transfer fee. So maybe there's one to watch there. I understand why it's easy to dismiss because of Paris not having that wage structure. But I think it's a move that would be good for Areola. I would assume he would be the number one. I'm assuming their goalkeeper perhaps isn't at the level of Areola. It's ticking all the boxes, this one. I'm kind of hoping it's true. And the reason being is because I just think he's going to be unhappy if he has to play second fiddle to Hermansen, which I understand. And I keep going back to what Potter said when he first came in. West Ham have got too much money not on the pitch. Well, you're going to bench your goalkeeper on 100 grand a week. You're going to continue to have too much money not on the pitch. So I've been surprised about at the lack of rumours linking Areola with a move away. So maybe there's a bit of confirmation bias here on my part, but I'm inclined to believe it. Let me just run through them at the end. We'll do this very quickly because some people think, "Oh, you talking nonsense, making stuff up." I don't make any of these up. But anyway, Rodriguez to Saudi, I kind of believe it because of Sean. I think Sean's quite reliable when it comes to putting stuff up. I don't always like the message. It's not just him, Clarence Hugh, extra-time employee, Hammers News. I think sometimes they put stuff out from the club and I wince. But Rodriguez to Saudi, I'm inclined to believe that. Irving to Scotland, absolute yes. Alvarez is off, yes, because of Romano. Whether or not we actually manage to sell him or not, I have reservations over. I don't think it's going to be an easy sale. Alex Garcia, no, I don't believe it. Forrest wanting Fernandez, I don't believe it. Douglas Luiz to Forrest, possibly. I do believe that one. Equagon, yeah, I mean, that's factual. Charles, I'm 50-50 about whether I believe that one or not. We've had it for a few weeks now, isn't it? It's a transfer rumour that's not going away. But it sort of makes sense, but I don't know if it's just because I want it to happen. I'm inclined to believe it. I'll put him in the no pile for now. Areola to Paris FC. Do you know what? Actually, I am. My gut said I believe that one. Anyway, there you go. That's your latest West Ham transfer rumours made up by other people, brought to you by me. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do stick around by subscribing. Drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. Both things are free. It takes a handful of seconds. And if you want to hear more from me about Fantasy League or other Premier League clubs, go to my YouTube channel, Tartan Geo. Links in the description below in the pinned comments. Hit the subscribe button over there as well. Come join the 5,000 other idiots that put up with me. Much appreciated. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.